Mr. Beast Burger Challenge. You see, Chris style. I could order this.
For real?
Yeah. You can cut it.
Hey, how you guys doing? We are a new channel here, and if you like this video and find it helpful, please consider supporting the channel by hitting that subscribe button and that like button. Now, if at any point you guys have any questions about the monitor or any part of the video, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. And if you just enjoyed the video, please let me know. At the current Amazon price of $320, the AOC U2790VQ is one of the most affordable 4K monitors currently on the market. Now, when you cut down the price of the monitor, there's bound to be some shortcomings. But before we jump into those, let's just go over some of the specs of this monitor. Let's start with the display. Now, this monitor rocks a 4K 3080/40 by 2160 standard display with an IPS panel allowing for better color reproduction and wider viewing angles. The display also packs a borderless bezel, standard brightness of 350 candels per meter squared, a 1.07 billion color output on 108% sRGB color range, including a 20 million to 1 contrast ratio for sharper detailing. Hello, Future Fernando here. I just realized that I missed two key aspects of the panel itself, and that is the fact that this is a 10-bit panel, which means it has a wider color gamut than the 8-bit panel. I talk a little bit more about that in a different video. I'll link that down below as well. I would also like to mention that this monitor is neither G-Sync nor FreeSync compatible, so there's no technology built into the monitor to help with screen tearing. However, in my experience at playing at 60 Hz, I have not noticed any screen tearing. Now finally, the monitor has a 60 Hz refresh rate with a 5 millisecond gray to gray response time. Now, I would also like to showcase the difference in the color reproduction between my TN panel and my IPS panel. Now, the panel on the left costs about twice as much as the one on the right, and that's because it has a faster response time, faster refresh rate, and all that. However, for color reproduction, the one on the right tends to do a lot better, as you can see here in the video. Now, I have more information on the difference between IPS and TN on a separate video I'll link down below, but I just hope that this would help you see the visual difference. Now let's talk a little bit about the connections that it comes with. The monitor from AOC comes with 4 display options. 2 of them are HDMI, one of them is a DisplayPort, and the other one is a VGA port. The 2 HDMI options is HDMI 2.0 and HDMI 1.4. Now the DisplayPort option is a DisplayPort 1.2, and the VGA is just your standard VGA. Now in terms of audio, the only option you have is a headphone jack, which allows a 3.5mm connection. Now as far as the box contents, it comes with a 1.8 HDMI cable and a 1.8 DisplayPort cable. The monitor is also VESA compatible, which is great because VESA is your standard mounting system, so you have a lot of options there. Another feature in this AOC monitor is the low blue mode feature, which will actually shift the LED to a longer wavelength, which would in turn decrease the output of harmful blue light rays. Now, I will link some more information about the technology down below in the description. However, for me personally, I use blue light glasses, and this isn't a feature that really called my attention. Now let's talk about some of my thoughts on the monitor. Now the monitor is nothing flashy, no RGB lights, no metallic finish, and no real flair to it. But as a 4K monitor display, it does the job very well. If you are a competitive gamer and you like to cut down on ray tracing, lower the texture detailing a little bit, maybe even possibly cut down on resolution, just to try to squeeze out as much FPS from your system as you can, then this monitor is definitely not for you. However, if you plan on running some beautiful games, you don't care about how high of an FPS you can reach in the hundreds, 200s, or whatnot, and you just want to have your ray tracing turned on, you want to have your new GPU pushing as for the most beautiful image you can get, then this monitor might be a great fit for you. For example, I would use this monitor in games such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, CyberPunk, Metro Exodus, because this monitor can only produce up to 60 Hz. This isn't one monitor that I would personally be using if I was in a really competitive, let's say, Call of Duty match. I would rather use my TN panel because I'm not really too caring about the graphics of how quickly I can die. I really would rather play those Cyberpunk games on my new 4K panel, even if it is at 60 Hz, because chances are I'm not going to be pushing 100 to 200 Hz on any of those 4K titles with the most beautiful graphic settings turned off. Now let's talk a little bit about the shortcoming. Now I don't want to be too harsh because for $320, I'm not expecting 4K gaming at 144 Hz, 1 millisecond gray to gray response time with a bunch of RGB lights and whatnot. However, I would say that for me personally, I did expect a little more stability on the monitor construction itself. In my opinion, it is very wobbly compared to some other monitors, and I'll go ahead and show you some video footage of that right now. I also wanted to show you guys the monitor menu. I find it fairly easy to use, but it's nothing crazy and it's pretty much your standard in-screen display menu. Now I know many monitors nowadays don't really have built-in speakers. However, that is a feature that I would have really loved to see in a monitor like this, but it's not something I'm gonna give it too much discredit for. I did find a really great speaker system for a really great price, and I could possibly do a video on that later. If you want to see that, please leave a comment down below. It allows me to listen to 2 monitors and my PlayStation at the same time, so it's a really great system. Overall, I must say from my usage and for a relatively small price tag, I do think this monitor does a great job. I use this monitor for 4K visual gaming, and I really like to crank up the texture detailing and the ray tracing in games such as CyberPunk, so I'm not normally pulling over 60 Hz, and so that's not really a big problem for me in this monitor. I also use this for video editing. However, I'm not a professional, so please take this with a grain of salt when I say that it's great for the color value that I see during my editing process. Now, I would recommend that if you know your expectations and you plan on using this monitor for video editing, 4K visual gaming where you really like to crank up the graphics, and you're not trying to push that FPS boundary, then this is a fantastic monitor for you to get. And I really do recommend that you purchase this monitor at the lowest price you can find on Amazon. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you want to catch some more or ask me some questions, please check me out at Desert Heat on Twitch.
Hello, look at me. Now, look at you.
Now look at you looking at me. If you enjoyed that, you're definitely going to enjoy my channel. My name is Fernando, but I go by Heat. I live in the desert, I study mechanical engineering, and this channel is my way to grow and connect with you. I started with a PlayStation camera. You're actually catching the last stream without the overlay. And with the new support I was able to find on my channel, we were able to build a PC together, start our own Discord family, and better get connected with one another. Now come check out our highlights.
It's like problem, chief.
Push! 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 Fuck, I'm nervous. Stop camping. Oh no! Immortal, get out of there! Now, if you enjoyed that, come be a part of our Cacti family. We are all welcoming, very kind, and we want you to be a part of us.